Hey, good Thursday morning, Wingman Merch Crew. It's actually Thursday and not Monday this time. Yay! um, I'm happy to be here. Sorry I missed last week, but hopefully you were able to watch on Monday and you were able to find something helpful and useful in my Facebook Live on Monday. But today I kind of wanted to add on to what I talked about on Monday. And so, for those that didn't watch on Monday, we talked a little bit about balance and the importance of balance in your e commerce business. Um, and that had to do with why I didn't do a Facebook Live last Thursday. It's because I had my grandchildren, how easy it is in our e commerce business to get out of balance. And so, I kind of wanted to add on to that thought a little bit. And that's so I want to talk a little bit about preparation. Believe it or not, the fourth quarter is just around the corner. And it's a little bit hard to believe. I think somebody posted a meme here not too long ago, X number of days until Christmas. And it kind of makes my hair curl. I was going to say turn gray, but that already happened. But it makes my hair curl a little bit to think about it. But it did get me thinking just a little bit about the value of both balance and preparation as we're heading into the fourth quarter. I think generally, and you can kind of get this information, it comes in a couple of different ways. But generally speaking, I think a lot of what I've read as far as preparing for t-shirts, merch shirts for like holidays or an event or anything like that, you want to actually start putting your material out like 6 weeks ahead of time. Some people say as long as 90 days ahead of time, but we're going to use 6 weeks for just the point that I want to make today. And so if we think about it, the fourth quarter is October, November, December. October 1st is about 6 weeks away from us right now. And so if you think about it in that perspective, we really need to start our preparedness for fourth quarter right now. And so, and how that relates to balance is being able to have a fourth quarter where you have a more balanced life and maybe are not quite so running around like a chicken with their head cut off, so to speak. I don't think I'll ever not do that, but it gets better every year. I'm heading into my fourth quarter this year. and actually my second fourth quarter with merch. And last year I wasn't prepared at all. I had a couple of sales on my merch t-shirts, but I didn't have very many at all because I didn't prepare in advance. And this really doesn't have anything to do with like the freeze and all those types of things that they talk about with the fourth quarter as far as merch is related, but it is just about being prepared and treating your merch business as a business and not as a hobby. For those of you that want it to be a hobby, that's totally fine. But for those of us that are looking to make it, an actual part of our business model, it helps for us to be prepared. So what that means is that I wanted us to spend just a little bit of time today thinking about how we're preparing for the fourth quarter as regards to our merch business. And then by being able to be prepared in our merch business, then how we can find better balance. And I think that those two things really can and do go together very, very well. So since we're thinking about it in that light, and we're thinking about the fact that there's about 6 weeks until October 1st, my encouragement for you today is going to be if you have open spots in whatever tier that you're at, it doesn't matter what tier you're in, but if you have open spots, you want to be very intentional about filling them. You don't want to fill them with garbage. You would certainly want to make sure that you're doing your research and you're putting up good stuff. However, that being said, you want to make sure that you are intentional about filling those slots up so that you can maximize the amount of exposure that you do have during the fourth quarter, and in turn to be able to get more sales. In addition to that, if you're preparing for your fourth quarter now with your merch business, what that's going to do to you, it's going to bring you more balance in your life as well, because that's going to free you up to be able to focus on other things as well. And so my thoughts, and Nate and Stephen, I hope will weigh in heavily on this if I'm speaking out of turn or giving incorrect information. certainly I think that the thing to do is, if you have slots available, be intentional about filling them. And then you have to have that in place, and then you can move on to the next thing that you need to be intentional about being prepared for the fourth quarter. In this case, Stephanie has put out a really great training on Etsy. And so that's going to be another way that you can prepare for the fourth quarter, so that you can have, again, you're casting the widest net as possible to get the maximum amount of sales and to be able to still keep your balance. If you're doing business outside of merch, that's also going to open up that possibility for you as well. And so now you've bolted in your merch business, you've bolted in your Etsy business, you can work on whatever avenue or leg of your business that you're also working on. Maybe it's online arbitrage, maybe it's retail arbitrage, maybe it's something else entirely, we don't know. But again, if you're taking, little bites, being intentional about what you're doing, get it prepared, and then move on to the next thing, what that's going to do is it's going to make you have the best fourth quarter that you can possibly have, because you're prepared for it. And I think it's something for us to really think about. I'm working at that. I am one of these people that sometimes works better just off the cuff. And so planning and preparation is something that I've had to learn. I've had to learn how to do and to be effective at it. But what I've found, and by learning that, is that I have gotten to be so much better balanced in my life, and that's really, really important. I can't say enough how important that part is. So I want you to kind of have this visual in your mind, or maybe this isn't. Actually, it might be that some of you are probably young enough that you probably don't even know what I'm going to be talking about here. But we used to watch these, cartoons and shows and things like that. And you'd see the performer, and they'd have a stick, and they'd have a plate, that they've got it going, and they've got it going, and they got it going. And then they put down then they have another stick, and then they start the other one back going, the other one going. And then they still have to go back to the first one to keep it going, and then the second one, and then they do the third one, and then they do that. But once they get the foundations in place and they get that started, then really all they have to do is go back just real quick, and just kind of tap that one to keep it going, and then the next one, keep it going. And before you know it, they have like 6 of these going. It's kind of like juggling, I guess, but with plates. But, the point is that, they took the time to get the first one planted, they got the foundation going, and then they move on to the next one, and they got that planted, and they got the foundation going, and then they went back to the first one. They just tapped it just to make sure it was still, going. They planted the third foundation. I want you to think about your fourth quarter and planting your businesses in that way. So once you fill your slots in merch, you want to make sure that you're still going back and addressing. You don't want to just like set it and forget it. You want to go back and do some tweaking here and there. Tweak a search term or a title or a bullet point or whatever. Tweak it every once in a while, and then tweak the second one that you're working on. In this case, Etsy. Tweak that a little bit, and then whatever you're doing in your third one, you tweak that a little bit. And then that's how you're able to get all of that wide net spread and still be able to keep your balance. So that was the piece of, insight, encouragement, help, I guess, that I wanted to give for today. For those of us that are not at CES, hello to everybody there. Hopefully you have a little bit of time to pop into the Facebook group. If not, we totally understand, because it's really, really busy there. And hopefully next year, Nate and Steve talked about this a little bit, about maybe doing, Wingman Merch Reunion. Hopefully that's something that we can look forward to for next year. So I hope that you all have a wonderful day, and I'm going to be around. I'm not at CES, and so I'm going to try and spend a little bit more time in the Facebook group in case there's any questions. Again, I'm not the guru by any stretch, but I'm more than happy to answer any questions as they come up. So hope you all have a wonderful day, and we will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.